Operatives are on the PTS now and ready to teleport behind you and shiv you in the back. Nothing personal, kid. That and more coming up now on this episode of the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 394. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey, hi, Max. Going really well. My big news this week, I'm done with Galactic Season 1.
Done with Galactic Seasons. Oh, you can't even show it. Well, I guess I couldn't say. I guess there's nothing for me to see.
No, there's nothing to see. Plus, we're on the PTS right now. But, yeah. So I've been saying for a while that it was going to be a photo finish, but I guess I was a little bit underestimating because we're still... I mean, the end date is sometime in September, and we're still in August, so not really a photo finish. So, yeah. Now what?
Gotta be careful underestimating. Next time you should be estimating.
Right. Right. Thank you, everyone who's saying congrats in chat. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, this is where I was. Yeah. So how does it feel? You you put the note in here. Freedom.
Yes. I mean, I started a little early. Like I was close to being done, and then I sort of didn't do any dailies on Tuesday and Wednesday. And so I'm sort of already into the not having to do anything. But we did ops tonight, and I'll get like the 8 points for. Yeah. So anyway,
Sure.
I did complete Galactic Season. I'm kind of interested in how the changes for Galactic Season 2 will work. Although I don't really want to borrow those brain cycles yet. I just want to be in the between times now.
Mm-hmm.
And go back to my older game of like, what am I going to do for Conquest? Which I was still doing that, but it was kind of watered down by also wanting to complete the Galactic Season stuff. So that's cool. And I'll spend some more time leveling. I have... I think one character that I'm leveling on the pub side and a couple that I'm leveling on the imp side. But I only have 2 sets of armor, so...
Of leveling armor?
Yeah. Lately, I created this system. You know, it's not as old as time or anything, but when I put the armor on my character, I write down which character it's on. Or if it's in
like
the
on
legacy...
a piece of paper?
Well, no, in a spreadsheet, but...
Yeah, there you go.
That way, I mean, and stay with me here. That way, the next time I'm wondering where it is, I can just look at what I wrote down.
No way. Get
it? See? It's brilliant, right?
Get out.
So that's been working pretty well. So yeah, we had a great time in our ops night tonight. We went to we did story mode SMV, and oh my gosh, that was fast, and things were dying so quickly because we have been doing some hard mode stuff in there, some veteran mode stuff in there. And then we went and did the first 2 bosses in Duxon because we had one Guildy who didn't get the achievement for the books, which we had done the week while he was on vacation. So we did just enough of Duxon to get that last book. And then we went and did Nightmare Nephra in Dread Fortress.
Which we like to do.
A nice little closing thing to do for the evening. So I like it when it's like a variety night like that. That was fun. And then on MFN this week, we had sort of ghetto MFN because BC was traveling. But we did Datacrons and we did Taboro's Courtyard.
Yep.
We took a look at Hive of the Mountain Queen.
Yeah,
and then we went in
12 people that had never done it before, but we got a bunch of people on fire. And that's
a plus.
Success
that's a plus
in my book.
And then we finished the night by just running. The last 10 minutes, we went to Ziost and killed the outdoor boss there.
Yeah.
So it was another sort of variety evening, which I like. And I like doing the Datacrons. Anyway. So yeah, it's been a good week. And Galactic Season 1, and I managed to get my Arthur to influence level 50, which I realize is not a huge achievement because,
That's designed. by
they
design. But yeah.
give you the things, but see, I'm just happy that I thought I had lost one of them,
Yeah.
but I found it. So
I have not collected nearly any of the rewards out of Galactic Seasons to this point because I just didn't want to like fill up my inventory. I think I collected through like rank 10, so I've got another 90 ranks to go. I'll have to set aside some time, make sure I consume all the right ones. I accidentally collected a couple on a character I didn't mean to. I think I transferred them back to my mercenary. I meant to do it all on my mercenary, so they were all in one place, and I wasn't like messing things up or losing things. I'll have to work on it.
yeah, don't just log in your main and collect everything there.
Yeah, you don't
Don't
want to
make a
spread
thing
the
of
stuff
it.
around.
And a lot of the things are consumables, so just
Right.
claim them, consume them. Like you don't need to think about who's going to get the cartel coins,
Right.
or the galactic token.
No, but the companion gifts just have Arthur out.
Yeah.
And as they come,
exactly.
consume them, and you'll get to 50, and then it'll be done, and you're not going to lose them, and you're not going to have to put them in the spreadsheet.
And then the little potions and stuff, you can just vendor those, or send them to
delete them.
Right.
In front of Arthur. See how much you mean to me.
Nothing. Although there are quite a bit of gear pieces in there. Arthur's gear, he's got like about 75 rifles. And
Oh, there's also that. Yeah, bunch of outfits. Because apparently he's the belle of the ball.
I just saw what Zen put in chat. Freedom, sweet freedom. Now I'm bored.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's me. How about you, Max? How has your week been?
Also fun in MFN. We got all the datacrons on Corellia. So every single datacron on Corellia. So people were getting
and one of the
matrix
shards. Yeah.
And a blue matrix shard. I had a character standing at the blue matrix shard. It's a really cool place on Corellia. It's a little side corner, mini, unique place in the game. You have to walk down way south on the map in one of the zones of Corellia. You have to wind your way through, which is always frustrating because the city's all busted up. When you get to the place where you're supposed to go, it's like at the edge of the map. You're actually going off the map a little bit. There's what looks like a big blue door, and it looks like something you could click on. You can't click on it, but you can walk through it, and then there's this cool, like, large, like half a refrigerator, like a washing machine sized device that's a holo projector, and you can see the beams coming out of it projecting that door. So it's a fake door, real fake doors, folks, real fake doors. So
it's more like the size of like a half a car.
Yeah, like the size of a motorcycle, but if a motorcycle was a polygon. Kind of. It's big. It's big, but not as big as not as big as a car though. Right.
Yeah, maybe 60% of a car.
60% of a car. Let's get specific here. I would say 57% of a car, but again, right angles and in the cube. A bit of a rectangular 3D object. That's what I did. Ops night was also fun. We flew through Scum and Villainy. We killed Titan 6. I mean, it was only story mode. What am I bragging about? We're so good, man. We finished story mode.
It was just fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. We did Titan 6 on story mode. You know how he's what does he call his abilities? I forgot his voiceovers, but ability number 5 or whatever. And so then he does the big blast, and he blasts up in the air, and he goes down to the next position. He did that once. He got to the second position, and we killed him. He never even got to go to the third, fourth, or fifth, or sixth positions. We destroyed Titan 6. Poor guy. Titan 6 needs no allies. Yes, it was Mambo number 5.
Mambo number
5. So that was fun. We flew through that.
Turns out he could have used some allies.
Yes, he could. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. He could have used some allies. Coolest robot in the game, though. I don't know if anybody notices when you walk in there for Titan 6. He's got his arm crossed and he's leaning against the wall.
He is too cool for school.
Needs no allies. Titan 6 stands alone. That was fun. And then, yes, killing Nephra. Nightmare Nephra, of course, which nets you, whoever wins the role on the OEM, gets about 30 million credits if they put it on the GTN. Not a bad way to end the evening. 30 million credits. So that was pretty cool.
Was your pinky up when you said that?
I did. It was. Did you see it?
No.
It was. You can get it on the replay.
That'll not happen.
Catch me outside, Seema. All right. So that was it. That was good. Let's talk about some news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
First up in the news, we had an interview with Chris Schmidt. We did that a ton of that last week, but it was nice afterwards. We got a lot of people that were retweeting it. We got Chris Schmidt who put a post out himself on the forums that said, hey, I did an interview with Max and Seema. So that was really nice of Chris to follow up with that. He had a couple of his bullet points. I put our summary PowerPoint, and a few other people used that. SWTOR did a nice write-up and linked to a bunch of that stuff. Had a few good discussions going back and forth with feedback on the YouTube comments, on Reddit, in Twitter, in Discord, with our guild. One of the key follow-up questions that we had was that we didn't ask it clearly enough. We weren't clear on it ourselves. We understood most definitely that there will be 2 combat styles per character as permanent choices. The one when you roll the character, and then you'll be able to pick one more combat style. If it's a new character, it might come a little bit later. If it's not a new character, if you're got an advanced legacy, you might get it sooner. But 2 permanent choices. What we wondered was, well, then how many loadouts? Are we limited then to 2 loadouts, one for each of the combat styles? We sent some notes to the team. They clarified very specifically you have between 4 and 5 loadouts for now. That's their plan. They can't give us infinite number of loadouts. They want it to be constrained by how much the database will handle. I'm sure they're going to have to get a look at how many people are actually using. There will probably be a difference in number of loadouts between preferred and subscribers. It sounds like subscribers will probably get 5, and maybe preferred will get a couple less. There would be 4 for non-subscribers was their design goal so far. That sounds pretty good. So that I think one of each will be tied to the combat styles, and then you'll have another 3 to spread them out around amongst the however you want. I know I've already saw some feedback that people wanted more than that. It seems like a reasonable starting point, at least to me. So that was a good point of clarification. Wouldn't you agree, Seema?
Yes.
Do you agree?
And also the point about even though we're limited to 2 combat styles within each of those combat styles, we'll still be getting the 3 disciplines that we already know about. So
yes, and that we saw this week, and we will talk about that more in detail. And why did we see that this week in detail, Seema?
Oh, that was a segue. So PTS is up, and Operative and Sniper are ready to go on the PTS. So that's what they're asking for feedback right now on the PTS. It's like the previous PTSs in that there's no character copy. When you log in, you'll make a new Operative. You'll be level 75. Basically, you'll be on Hutta, because you just created a character. But then there's a droid there to take you to the fleet, and on the fleet you talk to another droid, and they'll put you to level 75 and give you some credits, and then you talk to some vendors and you get your armor pieces and your weapon and your tacticals and your left side stuff. So then if you want to go higher than the base gear level, you have to keep buying gear because it'll upgrade in the way that we're already familiar with. Like you buy the gear and equip it, then you buy some more gear and equip that, and then buy some more gear and equip that.
And we'll even show you in a bit in the second half.
And they said that the
tricks.
reason they did it that way instead of just giving us 306 gear is that it allowed people to have control of their stats. So like if you really were looking to have your stats a certain way, then you could buy pieces from different sets that had different emphasis on stats, I guess. But I just picked one stat and bought it over and over and over again because I knew I wasn't going to do a lot of combat.
Okay.
Also, now they have the ability tree showing. The UI for the ability tree is still a work in progress, but now we can see how it's going to work.
Right.
And one of the things that Schmidt said to us last week was that there's like default choices, so you'll never like be in a situation where you don't have your talents or whatever you want to call them, where they're empty. You don't have to stay with the defaults. You can click on them to change them at any time. So like on one row, there's 3 choices and one of them's highlighted. So there's no cost or anything. You can just click them to change them. You just read them and decide which ones you want.
Yeah.
Also, if you then when you've got your gear the way you want it, then you talk to a droid and it'll send you to Andron, and then on Andron you're meant to do some dailies and kind of play with the your operative or your sniper and see how it is and give feedback on it. One of the things you can get from the when you're there on Andron though is if you click on the Andron mission board, it'll give you level 3 speeder, so you can ride around on a speeder. However, I haven't figured out how to actually. I mean, I can get speeders. I have speeders in the mail, and they give you a speeder. But when you consume the speeder, like when you right click on it to use it, and it goes into your list of speeders, I haven't been able to find that list of speeders to actually put them on a button so I can actually ride one of them.
Yeah, no, neither have I, and we'll show some of that on the PTS as well. But yeah, I have not.
But anyway, yeah. So that's the setup. It's similar and it's a little bit different, but mostly similar to how it has been for previous weeks. So if your jam is operative sniper, now is the time to get on the PTS.
Now's the time. And if your jam is the mercenary and commando, I guess you gotta still wait.
Right.
Dang it. All right. There was also a post from Jackie, because as soon as this went up, then somebody, of course, said, well, I guess you're not taking any feedback on the Jedi Guardian anymore. And no, they have those threads still open. In fact, Jackie linked to those threads as part of the master thread now that says, now we've got 4 of these feedback threads open. Keep the feedback coming. We're continuing to escalate it to the devs teams. Don't worry about that. And it was a valid question.
Right, because it is a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, because now they
have not moved on.
Yeah. Right.
So that is there. Please continue to test it. And especially if that's your thing, if you are, a Guardian or a Sentinel, test it, try it, do it, live it, and then let them know, because they've already incorporated some of the feedback from Guardian. For example, I think one of the things they said was saber throw will no longer be in the tree as a choice. They agreed that saber throw was sort of iconic enough, and the feedback, they agreed with some of that feedback. So they're continuing to think through some of those kinds of structure of the tree and the trade-offs. As I was saying, I think I was saying in pre-show, I want it to be where you have to choose between 2 of your favorite abilities for every class and every tree, and so that everyone has some that has tiers as they go through and define their discipline. I think that would be outstanding.
Oh, while we're talking about the PTS too, I should mention that when it first came up, the operative did not have sleep dart, and they took and a couple other and they took the PTS down for about a half an hour this afternoon to fix a few things, and that was one of them. When it came back up, now the operative does have sleep dart, but you need to create a new operative and go through the whole shenanigans again to get sleep dart.
Yes.
But it was left out. It wasn't an intentional thing, so they aren't like saying that wasn't part of the ability streamlining.
Right. about this other change for 6.3.2, and that's an interesting part of this as well. So go through the change, and then we can talk about 6.3.2.
So the idea is that they're getting rid of Master Loot. And if you don't know what Master Loot is because you've just never had experience with it, it's a loot style to use instead of Need Greed, where the raid leader can assign the loot that drops from a boss to various people. And tight-knit groups use it because they're working together and trying to gear up certain people because that's a goal they have as a group. But it causes friction sometimes in pug situations where you join a group, but the leader of the group is perceived and is making sure that you don't get any gear. Only his friends get the gear. That's a possibility. But anyway, so the idea is they're doing away with Master Loot. And they did make a comment, too, that they're trying to move more towards a model with personal loot. They didn't really elaborate on that too much.
Yeah.
They just said it will bring us closer to what we are calling the personal loot system. So more on that, I guess.
Yeah, and this has been met with mixed reviews. A lot of people are wondering exactly what the intent is, because there are some edge cases where master loot can potentially be important.
Yes.
They are edge cases where there's only very few edge cases where you would really want to have it. So if they fix those or work around those, then fine. And those would be things like, and again, something that not everyone may be familiar with, there is a special item that drops from Dreadtooth at 10 stacks. So this is something that like a whole bunch of people need to work together on to get enough of the vials of the stacks, and then you can kill Dreadtooth with 10 stacks on it, and you need a bunch of people to kill Dreadtooth with 10 stacks because he's really hard. And then it drops one amulet when you kill Dreadtooth with 10 stacks. That amulet is a very important item that's then required to summon the dreadful entity, which is in Terror from Beyond. And if this group has been sort of working on this as a project, and they've finally gotten enough people together, and they killed Dreadtooth 10 times already so that they could get the 10 stacks, the 10 vials, then get the group and get the amulet, and the amulet drops, and someone greeds on it, or there's no master loot system and they can't make sure they get it, then someone who's like not even part, or maybe was just there to help out the group, could get the amulet and then say, "Yep, too bad, guys. I've got the amulet. I'm out of here. We'll see you guys later. See you, suckers. I'm going home." That actually happened to us.
Yes,
Marcus was, yeah.
And we said afterwards, well, that's on us because we didn't have it on Master Loot.
We didn't turn it on Master Loot. So that's a
We didn't even
situation
think of it.
where you would have wanted if we had been thinking about it. See, we didn't even use it then, so we
Yeah.
can't, we're not too sad that Master Loot is
But
leaving. But
I mean, the other thing about
that's an edge case.
Dreadtooth, it takes a while to get him to the 10 stacks too, so it's not
Yeah.
like you can just go, "Oh well, run it again."
No. Now you need to get 10 more vials.
Right.
So it's a whole project. There's also rare mounts that drop, like if you kill Brontes on Master Mode, the Wings of the Architect drop. And again, if they're supposed to go to a certain person in the group because it's your main group and one person didn't get them yet, it's only one at a time, and those are very hard to get. Same sort of thing. So there are a couple
I
of
just
these
thought of
edge
something
cases
too.
around.
It might affect the groups that sell the Brontes mount speeder, because if they can't guarantee you're going to get it because it's going to be personal loot.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it will depend on how they run the personal loot system. I think one of the points of clarification was there will still be, and it says here in the post, we want to reassure you that with these changes, gear will still remain tradable within your group for 2 hours, and chat logs will still record who the gear was given to. So if it's 7 people and they're bringing in an 8th, they'll still be able to sell the Wings of the Architect because they're all then in agreement. If they have a bad actor who slips in their core group of 7 that steals the wings and runs away, that is a problem. That if they do something about those edge cases, so that say that Wings of the Architect becomes personal loot, and bound on pickup, and well, they already said it's going to be tradable. So I don't know. Then the flip side is, if it's still tradable, then all you're doing is whoever gets the Wings of the Architect, they end up becoming the master looter for that
Right,
session.
de facto.
De facto
Yeah.
master looter. Because they've got them and they can trade them, and they can trade them if they want to, and they don't have to, and they get to decide. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how it goes. I'm personally okay with it because I mean, our experience is more like, trying to get people to take gear. We don't run into that,
Right.
the friction with gear. But I am kind of interested in this personal gear, this personal loot, especially if it means some things are easier to get. I would like to see that happen.
I think the more dramatic way to change this would be to eliminate that last line, which is gear still tradable within the group for 2 hours, to make everything bound to legacy, bind on pickup, everything personal loot. Wings of the Architect, you just have a 20% chance of them dropping for you, when you run that operation on master mode, and they could drop for multiple people in the group, say something like that. And the amulet will drop for, it's guaranteed to drop for at least one person, but it's 10% of, or whatever. If they did that, then it would also take away the drama of, after the fact, well, hey, you got that fancy decoration. I really wanted that. Come on, trade it to me. Be cool. Aren't you cool? Peer pressuring people into trading things after the fact and creating drama that way, which won't go away with just saying things are tradable for 2 hours.
Right. I mean, that's why in WoW some stuff is not tradable for that very reason, because they don't want people to be pressured to trade away something that's an upgrade for them.
Drama. Trying to eliminate
I'm
the
sort
drama.
of getting to, I haven't thought this all the way through, but I'm sort of starting to get to a point where I may be going to be entering the camp of people who say no more RNG, because I kind of would almost rather you get loot by achieving like tiers of activity or something.
Yeah.
Like when you level,
Sure.
you get a loot package or something, because I'm sort of losing patience as I get older with doing the same stuff over and over again and not getting what you want. It's sort of like, I get, what you say, Max, about the endorphins of when you actually win a roll, but for me, it's getting to a point where it's not offset. It's not enough.
Yeah. I've always acknowledged and explained the variable reward system. And this probably goes back like 4 years ago. It was the last time I talked about it on the podcast, but that variable reward schedule is neuroscience.
No, I know it's a strong motivator.
But I hate it. I agree. I'm with you. I've always wanted no RNG. Like if you want it to be a hard thing, like to get Wings of the Architect, I need to have killed Brontes. I need to kill Brontes 4 times to prove that I've mastered it or whatever. So basically, you don't get it the first time you kill it, because you had to kill it 8 times, and 8 times for 8 people in a group to be able to get the Wings of the Architect. So maybe on the 8th time, or make it something reasonable. 6 times, that's an achievement, and you get Wings of the Architect, and it's just checked off. If you want me to do it X number of times as the average, well, don't make it random, because if it's like, we want you to do it 10 times, and you give me a 10% chance, I might have to kill Brontes 30 times. That's what RNG does to me. That's what RNG does to me, to be clear. That's what RNG does to me. Somebody else, the next person's going to get it the first time. I'm the person on the other end of the curve that allows those people that get it the first time to get it their first time.
So maybe it's okay for some things to be RNG, but maybe at least not just the baseline stuff you need to play the game.
Right. All right, Guilden community news. We do have a big guild announcement. Fun thing to give a little shout out there. We have we have a very simple guild structure in AIE. We've got officers, and they're across the community, across all of our games. The officers are really there just to help out and do a job. So we don't. It's not a reward system for anybody. We bring in an officer if we need help in a particular area. So last week on the podcast, we announced Tabitha has joined us as an officer across a variety of games. We do have what's called the AIE Council, which is a small group of a handful of additional officers that have been with the guild for a really long time, and they're just there to just be a point of escalation if the officer team needs a tiebreaker on a decision, or to make sure we've got common culture across all of our divisions. So we have a new council member that has been added. So Dankinia is a longtime officer, well known across the guild. We have invited and asked Dankinia to join the council, and she has accepted. If you're not familiar with Dankinia in AIE, if you play WoW, you most likely very much are. She runs one of the biggest weekly events in our WoW division, which is called New Braid. You get at least 30 people in there typically every Saturday night. We're going and running raids, kind of like the original, kind of preceded mandatory fun nights, and it's a version of a mandatory fun night for WoW. Dankini also runs our ESO division. She also streams. Really great, solid contributor that's helped develop the guild in a number of ways over time, and we just are glad to have her on the council to continue that work.
I'm looking forward to it because she's got a real sort of no-nonsense and experienced view of things. So I'm looking forward to her voice on the council.
Yes, so am I. Guilden community news also, while our Friday schedule may be up in the air a little bit, I think our fourth Friday is going to go forward. Last I saw, did you see any updates on that? I don't want to throw it out there if it's not going to happen. I think yes. As far as I know, it's happening tomorrow, which is mega. So Marcus is going to get a mega going for tomorrow. Sounds like he's going to trend it towards PvP, like into intra-guild PvP. That's always a fun opportunity to maybe do some of go into our Rishi Stronghold and play a little custom hut ball, see what else that they can get going in there. So anyone on Starforge server, if you want to join in some of our fun guild goof off PvP kind of stuff, join our guild Discord, aie-guild.org. You can check in with Marcus tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central to 10 p.m. Central, time box for that 2-hour time slot. We will do a monthly epic guild activity. Mega. So that will be going, and then we'll see what's going on the Friday after. We may back off from our having to have something on the schedule every Friday to give people a little bit more breathing room, but we will have Friday events probably once every couple of weeks, and give a little bit more of an advertisement of when they're coming up. Shout out to the chat room. We've got a bunch of people in there that are helping us out, getting our updated intros straight, testing our audio. Really appreciate that. And they were putting up with me showing off my Blender art in the pre-show, and I'll probably show it again after the show. But show off I'm doing on some of that stuff. It's a fun opportunity to jump in and contribute both before and after the show. We will talk to all of you after, but right now we've got some new stuff.
Bet you didn't see this coming!
New stuff up on the PTS. We did want to dig into it and even show some of it. I'm here on the PTS. We're at these vendors, so we'll click on the vendors again. But the key thing that we wanted to show, which is new, is being able to see the disciplines and the tree of choices. So we finally got to see what the first draft of this looks like. It's clearly marked as a work in progress. But here, let's start there, Seema. So we don't bury the lead, but
Right.
this is sort of a cool thing. Let's bring up that. There's the big work in progress tag up at the top. But here it is. So you pick your combat style. So this is, okay. So there, you could potentially have 2 combat styles. I've only got 1, so it's operative. The box next to it is blank because I don't have my second combat style. But then when you click on your combat style, you've got all 3 disciplines here, and you can pick any one of the 3 disciplines. So you will end up with 2 combat styles. You'll end up with 6 disciplines to choose from. And then the right side here is the ability tree. And you said you like it, don't you, Seema?
Yeah. No, it's pretty.
Yeah. And even though it's you can tell it's a first draft and they're still putting some pieces together. It's a nice window.
It is very simple. Simple. Yeah.
Yeah. Simple,
Easy
straightforward.
I thought the other one was simple too. But yeah. And then they also include the other tab with the ability list, which is just a list of all the abilities. So these are arranged in the order that you would actually get them, but the ability list is.
And I checked on here for a mount, or like you can get the random mount ability. It's not in here right now, unfortunately.
No.
So I do not know how to mount either. They even made a change. They made an update to give you the faster mount speed on Onderon.
So there must be a way. People must be. I just haven't figured it out.
I was able to mount up last time. I'm gonna grab a couple mounts out of my mailbox here in a second and see if I can get one to show up. But yeah, this ability tree, it shows. So there's a stack of levels up the side, and you grow up the tree from level 1 all the way up to level 80. As you unlock, so I'm only level 75 now. So this level 80 row is up here and not unlocked. It looks like there's one that you get along the way at each of these level points. You get one at 10 here. Here's another 10, 15, 20. Every 5 levels, you have like another tier that you're opening up. You might get something guaranteed, like you get License to Kill passive at level 10, and you get Corrosive Assault. No choice, you get Corrosive Assault at level 10. At level 15, you have a choice of 3, and you get to only pick one of the 3, and they're all 3 are passives. Corrosive Return, Penetrating Strategies, Corrosive Impair. Where it gets a little more interesting, but those 3 are all passives. You get to like level 20, you get 1 passive guaranteed, and then you get to pick of 3 additional choices, 2 of which are passives and 1 of which is an ability. So here's where it starts to get interesting. You're getting something either way, and you're either picking Debilitate, which is your stun, which it's not your CC, it's not your but it's your hard stun, which is deals damage and stuns the target for 4 seconds. So this is like your kick, your shock, your stun ability, which is a choice now. So you don't have to have it. You could instead be picking the passive, which is countermeasures, slide countermeasures, which increases the duration of evasion by 2 seconds, and activating evasion instantly lowers threat. The threat drop has also been taken out. I know some people have been lamenting that, if depending on how they work out threat in fights, you may not need that. I mean, I don't relish having to work in a threat drop in a difficult fight. So, and then the other passive on that road to choose from is Imperial Strategies. Noxious Knives deals 25% more damage and reduces the movement speed of targets they damage by 40%. It's an AoE. So you could be trading your stun for boosting up your AoE. All right, so here's a choice. And maybe it's a hard choice. If you're PvP, you're going to take the stun. But then you're losing you just getting to stand in a group of people in a PvP match and throw your fan of knives out and do some extra damage with them. Seems like there's a decision to be made. I'm not going to go up the whole tree, but the other thing that stood out to me on this is, as Chris said, there's always something chosen for you. You can't have like unspent points. When you start at a minimum, it looked like everything, just like everything on the left was already chosen. when I got here and got to the trainer and clicked on it. So then I picked a couple other things, like I wanted Hollow Traverse instead, and I wanted, I don't know, whatever I picked the Debilitate. Then those, as soon as you click it, the ability shows up, somewhere, and you can put it on your bar. You can put it into a loadout. Loadouts aren't on the PTS yet, but we'll get to save them. So that I thought was nice. I often walk around with unspent utility points. So I won't be doing that anymore, which I am thankful for. How are things looking for you, and how does that tree look for you, and the choices as what you probably took in the medicine, right? So you
I
took
did
operative medicine.
take medicine. Yeah.
Well, there, I just took medicine too. I just clicked. Now I'm look at me. Look at me. I'm the healer now.
So my first, and I have to say, it's been a while since I played my operative healer and my scoundrel healer, but I didn't notice anything missing that I commonly use. And Sten, who is on our ops team, and he heals. Yeah, he heals as a operative every week and has been for several years. He got on the PTS and he said anything that's missing is something that he hasn't been using.
Okay. So he didn't mind the trade-offs. And he didn't mind. Oh, that's just off the top. There are a couple things that are just taken out. They're from looking at the feedback, and we'll show the feedback threads here in a second. It seems like people don't mind too much these updates. Like the Guardian feedback was much harsher, and there was much more angst, and it was a shit show. Operative and sniper feedback threads, there is some discussion. There's a couple threads chafing at it a bit, but I think in general the feedback is much more measured and balanced, which I think is good. So I'm looking
I'm
here.
looking at the list right now. I mean, still got stealth, still got
it's the same choice at 20 as lethality was.
Right. Still got the cleanse, still got the AoE heals.
Are the choices exactly the same between them? Yeah.
Still have, I'm just looking at the ability list, but still diagnostic scan is still there. But maybe, yeah, let me look at choices.
A little bit different, but most of the choices are not healing choices. It looks like they're not.
Oh, I found vehicles.
Healing. Oh, where did you find vehicles?
If you go up to the menu at the top and come down. Well, now where did I get that? But instead of going dang it, where did it go? Where did it go?
Legacy, inventory, character sheet,
yeah, abilities.
Abilities?
Like the little man, and then abilities. And then there's a drop down for operative, general, and vehicles.
Oh, wait, no, I don't have, I haven't unlocked any vehicles. Well, then it probably shows up on this abilities page too.
It didn't though.
Oh. I'll go get a vehicle while you're talking about the healer abilities. But I noticed there's no choice. You don't have to choose between any healer abilities is what I'm seeing on this. Oh, maybe you do. Wait. Adrenaline probe now immediately restore. No. It looks like there's no choosing between healing abilities. At 25 you get, at 10 you get one, at 25 you get one, at 40 you get one, and 55 you get one. It's the non-choice rows, and then 60, 70, and 80 you get one in the guaranteed column on the right. The things that you choose between are like
other things. Like shielding, passives, infiltrate, which is the one that cloaks all the members of your party. Flashbang. Oh, Hollow Traverse is a choice.
So that, and maybe that's certainly by design to say, for healers in particular, we can't take away their freedom. We can't take away the healing abilities because those are sort of key to their rotation. Yeah,
right.
Not show up.
They are sort of healing. Yeah, sort of key. So that's interesting. Sort of like one of the things the Guardians were concerned about was having to make choices between what they consider tanking abilities, and yet for this healing spec, all the healing abilities seem protected.
Okay. I still don't see vehicles, but I didn't go to Andron yet. I didn't click on that board either. So maybe that's what I got to do.
Yep.
All right, so that's interesting. I'm on an operative sniper. I guess we could take a quick look at that. Did I start conversation? No, that's. Oh, I have to roll a sniper. I didn't roll a sniper. That's fine. Just so that you're seeing what we're seeing as you're looking at the podcast here. Seema mentioned this in the news. All the gear is on these 4 NPCs right here. Do they have names? I don't see a name. No, they just say weapons and sniper equipment and operative equipment and tactical items. When you click on these, I think the implants and relics are 306. They just start as 306. So get those. And then the weapons and offhands, they start at like 270 when you first start getting them. And each time you go and get them again from the vendors, it goes up in eye level. So right now, you see I'm here at 299. So I've got 292. My tactician's set is 292, and my weapons are 298 and 296. If I click on this operative equipment person and go down and get yet another set, you can see these other sets of tacticians I've got in my inventory. If I go down and get another set of tacticians, it'll be higher level, and it will boost my level. So you could get up to 306 this way. It's just kind of tedious. But as they said, if they're doing this too, in fact, it didn't even boost the level on that one. It gives you more control if you want to sort of stop at 300, for example. You could do that and feel what it feels like to play on Alderaan with 300 gear instead of 306. I didn't check and I didn't notice, and maybe we can just play. I can click around here a little bit while we're talking through more of this, but I don't know. I don't know if you can get above 306 on the PTS just yet, but we will. We will when it's released.
Yeah. So to answer the question of does it remember when you change disciplines, it doesn't seem to, but I think that would be the function of the loadouts.
Yes. Yeah.
So like if you just change right now by going on the other button, like picking a different discipline, it goes back to the default, or it did for me when I went back to medicine.
Yeah, a loadout certainly would, and that's sort of the point of loadouts.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well,
so Seema could end up with, well, I think you could end up with 4 operative medicine loadouts because one of the loadouts has to be assigned to your second advanced class, I believe. I'm not positive about that. Why would it have to be? It sounded like that's what they said in their note back to us. I guess there's another further point of clarification we could get into, or we'll just wait and see what it looks like when they put it in, when they give us loadouts to test. It sounded like they said 1 loadout each tied to each of your 2 advanced classes, and then 3 more for you to play with as a subscriber, which could have then all 3 could then still be assigned to one of the advanced classes. So if Seema really needed us to pick different abilities, she needed the hard stun for one kind of particular fight, but wanted, the passive evasion bonus and the threat drop for another kind of fight. She could have 4 different loadouts, which are all operative medicine, but be able to select different abilities, maybe swap out some relics, maybe put on a different outfit, as the case may be. Let's talk about what the important things are and what we'll actually be doing with loadouts. But so I would expect that's yes. So to Forster's question in the chat room, you would do that with loadouts. In the feedback threads, as I said, you can scroll through there. There's a couple things. People. The biggest thing was the sleeper dart being gone, but that was because that was a mistake on their part, and they even took the PTS down and put it back up. this afternoon already to get that in. What else did they? I think you had a list here somewhere. What else did they fix in that downtime today?
I did have that up. Let's see. I don't right now. I can find it though.
Yeah, here it's in. You put it under the PTS section.
Oh, I did.
The segment down below. Sleep dart. Yeah, so sleep dart's back. It was never intended to be removed. So this wasn't like feedback from people that got them to put it back. Engineering sniper has orbital strike baseline. So you don't
Oh,
have to
I see.
pick
Okay.
orbital strike.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I was looking ahead when I did that.
Yeah. Combat dummies being level 75. I don't know what level
That
they were.
I mean, they were level 80 before, so
Oh.
it wasn't.
It's hard to test.
People weren't. Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah.
Because you just miss all your abilities.
Yeah. Because
you're capped at level 75 still.
Yep.
And then tooltip clarifications, typo fixing. Got to be careful with those. They tend to delete guild chips, so be careful with those typos and tooltip clarifications, dev team. But they took it down. They made these fixes, put the PTS right back up, and it's all back and ready to go.
So your character that's right now is a sniper, right?
No, it's operative. I took operative specifically because sniper only had the 3 DPS classes. I wanted to see what it looked like to have a healing option.
Right. So this
well.
what I don't know is it says engineering sniper has orbital strike baseline. If that was to correct something wrong with engineering sniper, or if engineering sniper is the only one that gets orbital strike as a baseline.
Shall we roll a sniper while we're talking here and go
Sure.
So I'll sort of roll it on the side here while we're talking, but I just wanted to continue that discussion a little bit of those feedback threads. Definitely get your feedback in there, and the kind of feedback that's going on in those threads right now is the really kind of constructive feedback. It's here's what I like, here's what makes sense, here's what confused me. This is the feel of it. The feedback that's less useful for any dev team is, hey, here's my specification for how you should update this feature. Okay, well, appreciate that, but I mean, you don't know what the code base is or what the design constraints are or what the budget is for implementing that. So that makes it a little bit hard. Operative sniper. We will go with sniper. But yeah, so I liked it. I liked the feedback. I always make my snipers and I always make my agents chess. That's I don't know why, but I tend to do that.
This should be interesting.
Oh, should I make a girl chiss? I accidentally clicked girl, but we can do girl. You girls. We'll do random. Oh, look at that. Got a little, I don't like jewelry. Is that a cosmetic? No, just stuck to her head. Is that a complexion? No, it's just part of her head. It's not cosmetics or complexion. That jewelry thing is just part of her head. No, it's not even part of her head. Is it part of her hair? Oh, maybe it's a hair thing. Yeah, oh, sorry. Okay, there, it's a hair piece. I was clear here. Keep clicking random until we get a. Oh, that looks like our Sith friend. What? All right, gotta stop playing with this character creator. Fine, Maxine. Play. Get in here and check it out. Now remember, when you start, you're starting on Hutta. Hutta's a little bit easier. You don't than Tython, I found, to start on. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. There you go. You just need to. In fact, you can even skip the first conversation, I think. I find it easier. Just keep hitting one. Talk to Keeper, get through that, and then as soon as you walk out of that first bunker where you land on Korriban, that's where you can click on the droid to get to the fleet. So I walk out the door here. You do need to get to the fleet, though, and get to that combat section on the fleet to be able to pick up the first, to train up your abilities. So here's the droid right outside. Click on the droid. I say, yes, I want to go to the fleet. Take me to the fleet. And it gives you nice dramatic pauses for this random bot that will not be in the game again. And you get your little serious look that you really want to go to the fleet. So now we load up onto the fleet. Do not have a mount. Oh, and I don't even have my screen set up, but that's okay. Sniper. I like sniper. I always play sniper gunslinger if I'm playing an agent or a scoundrel. I rarely play the operative. Combat training. Zip around the corner. First thing you do, and I always click on the training droid twice. I don't know if you have to anymore, but the reason, especially when they first put the Guardian up, you did not get all of your abilities the first time you clicked on the droid. You had to click on it twice to be able to get all of the abilities. Maybe it's fixed now, but just for safety, I would go ahead and click on it twice. So here's the droid. Get my specialization. Thank you, droid. And then I'll click on it again, just to be sure. Now I can hit K and we can look at our ability tree. Same thing, sniper. I've got 3 disciplines to choose from. Ballistic shield. Orbital strike is a choice at level 70 for marksman. Okay, so what did it say? Engineering. If I switch over to engineering. Yeah. So you just get orbital strike as part of one of your base abilities if you're an engineer. For marksman, you have to choose it at level 70. And for virulence, you have to choose it at level 70 as well.
That's an interesting choice. It's interesting to make it, well, I mean, interesting, which is good, not bad necessarily.
So where does it come? Does it come at level 1?
Well, if you look at the ability list, it tells you the level.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it in here. What did we say? The other one's got it at level 70. I do not see it. Orbital strike. It looks like a little explosion, right? Cover pulse. No, it looks kind of like that though. No. Chat room, did you find it? Where does orbital strike? Should be a base ability for all. That's a bit nuts. Starry Saber. Well, that's a point of feedback. Orbital strike level 1. It is for engineering. For marksman though, it is. Wait, no. Orbital strike. It's. Marksman got it too. So wait, what was that ability? Go back to marksman.
So hard to find anything.
Yeah, marksman has it at level 1. Oops. Let me check virulence.
I'm pretty sure
well. Maybe they all get it at level 1.
I'm pretty sure in the current UI the abilities are in alphabetical order, right? It's
Virulence gets it too. I must be looking at something else here. No, it's also that's okay. So this is inconsistent. It is a level 1 built-in ability for all 3 disciplines right now on my screen when I'm looking at it in the ability list. It is also a choice for 2 of the 3 disciplines at level 70. It looks like the same exact ability, though. It doesn't look like it's a different version of it, or it changes your orbital strike or something like that. Nope. So I don't know. There's a point of feedback that you can put in the threads. Someone write that up for me. That's that would be great. All right, but that's it. I think it's looking pretty good. I'm glad we got yet another class up. Well, no, I'm not. Where's mercenary? I'm angry, man. I'm not glad. What is this junk? Get this out of my sight. I'll take Sork. I'll take Sork Sage, but do Sork so I can see the lightningy stuff. I play Sork relatively often. I would get a much better feel. I play Vanguard tank the most. I play Mercenary the most. I play Vanguard tank the second most, and I play Sork DPS the third most. And I've been mostly Madness, but I've switched over to Lightning recently. Get those on here. There. Get up on doing that there. BioWare, devs, there. That's my closing comments for today. How about you, Seema? What's your closing comments?
Well, I'm not really familiar with the dailies on Onderon. I'm thinking maybe what I should do in the next couple of weeks before Mercenary comes to the PTS is run these dailies a few times so that I can even compare.
Right.
So I'm familiar enough with them.
Well, on the Guardian,
yeah,
with 270 gear on the Guardian, I walked out onto Onderon and just started fighting some trash packs, and got my butt handed to me. And I don't know if that's normal or not.
Yeah, I don't know. And I probably wouldn't know for Mercenary either because I never would have done it. I would in 270 gear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to get the part out of the picture where I'm like, okay, go talk to so and so. Where's he?
Yeah. Give us all
How
the
do I
daily
get
areas
there?
open back up again. Give us CZ198. Give us Black Hole. We have much better feel for that. Why Onderon?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's a bad choice necessarily. It's just me personally. I never fell in love with Onderon, and so I haven't done the dailies 1,000 times like I have on CZ198 and Black Hole.
Right. No, it's not a bad choice, but it's a.
I mean, it's a more modern choice, maybe.
It's like a high end. It's some of the newest content. So some of the dailies there and the content there is going to be some of the most difficult of just regular planetary stuff. So I kind of feel like they should also do like some lower level.
Beautiful.
Because it's not downscaled. Yeah, well that's So that's kind of what I was. That's probably part of it too. There you go.
Yeah, it's probably a big part of it.
Not downscaled. Forster solved it. Forster, brilliant. Okay, but then get the scaling in so we can check that out too. We're gonna need to test that. Got a lot of work to do here, BioWare. Let's get that schedule going. All right. But I think with that, we can wrap up this view of the PTS. And probably for next week, unless they get another interesting discipline on the PTS, we'll talk about something completely different. So with that, we can take EPC 394 droid here and kick him out on airlock to broadcast this podcast episode to all of you out there. For podcast links, follow me on Twitter at MaxTheGray. I tend to go live and put that note out there on Twitter weekly on Thursday nights when we do broadcast this live on Twitch at twitch.tv/newoverlords. If you know any cool people that should be playing with us, that's why we do this podcast. Tell them to come check us out. They can find our guild on Starforge. They can find our guild information at aie-guild.org. There's a Discord link in the upper right. You can grab that. You can jump into Discord. We've got guilds on both the Imperial and the Republic side. Happy to get you in. Plenty of room. We'd love to have you. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.